What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. A link will be in the description box below as usual. This video is entitled Abstaining from Your Type. Sometimes people don't want to admit that they're addicted to their type. And sometimes when you have these complaints about the opposite sex, in some situations you're dating the same person, and at some point you can't blame all these new faces that you meet, because realistically they're just a different version of your type, which is the same person. You know, you're attracted to these certain characteristics, these certain traits, and you obviously haven't learned the lessons that it doesn't work good for you, right? You want what you want, but you want what you want more than you need what you need. So you got to deal with the backlash from that. And I find for some people it's hard to abstain from their type, because it's like their type has some kind of hold on them. Like it's just attracting me. You know, you get caught every time. You know, you falling for the same type, to the point where it really throws a monkey wrench in your real life, because you don't have the strength to actually try someone new or a different type. And what I mean by try a different type, like completely, like not this half-hearted, I'm open to meeting new people, but you know, I'm gonna have all of these ridiculous barriers and walls, and you know, just too much. You're just gonna be doing too much. They gotta do this, they gotta do that. But your type doesn't have to do all that. You could just be. You know, you can get to know each other. But because you can't abstain from your type properly, you wind up really sabotaging yourself, because you sabotage dating people who are not your type, to the point where you just gravitate back to your type, and you wind up going through the same situation over and over again. Now the problem, I think, lies as you get older. You know, it's like, how many times you gotta know the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again, hoping for a new result. You gotta know that's you. You know, oh, these people out here ain't shit. I get it. But if you can't sit down and say, you know what? These last 2, 3, 79 people have been, how many of them have been my type and been the exact same person that fit what I wanted? And it just didn't work out. Maybe because you just can't get away from it. And it's crazy because, you know, variety is really the spice of life. So when you abstain from your type, you should be open enough to try new types and see what you're missing. And for me, I kind of like that exploration part, because do I have a type? Yeah, that just, I just go, oh, yeah, I've been there. But, you know, wise enough to know, what's good to you ain't what's good for you sometimes. So you gotta chill. You know, you really gotta chill. And I noticed that one of the things that's hard to, when you are trying to abstain and not running your type is the grass is always greener with your type. And you don't realize that the people that aren't your type probably do way more for you across the board than your type. Your type is probably puts in the least effort to show you that they care because they don't have to. And because you don't have a standard with your type. And that's one of the reasons why you need to abstain from your type, because a lot of times you don't have a standard with your type to the point where your standard with everybody else is just some retroactive, over the top thing, because everything you let slide with your type, everybody else gotta fix. You know, they can't slide with that because in some ways you're arrogant. You know, they can get away with that, but this new person over here, nah. They're not my type, so they gotta work double time. And karma is funny like that. Like sometimes you'll ride or die for your type to the point that when your type has fallen off, because that's the one funny thing about not exploring different options, is the moment when the demographic that's your type starts looking like they falling off, or the people that you're viewing, it really hits home how much time you wasted with your type. You didn't get them when you wanted them. You didn't get them in their prime. When you got them, it was probably an overrated experience, you know, or you overrated who they were and they had an underrated experience. And then you realize your type, the juice, with your type, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. But whose fault is that? Is that the people's fault or your fault? My personal opinion is your fault. You know, but because you're addicted to your type. And one of the problems is, you know, with addiction is you got to admit you got a problem. You got to admit what makes you weak. You got to admit who has your number. Excuse me. And along the way, you got to recognize when you're not sticking to the script. Because here's one of the things I got to say before I go. If you don't abstain from your type, you never understand that you let things slide because it's your type. And one of the things that you let slide is who you consider the people that are your type, you might not necessarily be their type. So, because you like them and you put value on your type, you go too far. You can't back up and see if your type actually likes you back. You know? And when you can't do that, you're going to be a doormat. Or a sucker, or a simp, or a side chick, you know. And this goes for men and women because, you know, when you can't get away from your type, you've seen guys waste years being satellites. And you've seen women waste years being satellites. You know, just orbiting around a person, just waiting for one day. Or, you know, just being the person that they call when they bored and they ain't got no more options, and you just always, ta-da, I'm always here. Like, you gotta abstain from your type. You really do. You know, for your own self-respect sometimes. So we out. Just saying. Peace.